Hi everybody, I'm your photography otaku junkie, the Photaku, and I have a special guest. This is Ty. She is an awesome freelancing filmer and a photographer. You know, because you all know each other.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to ask, Ty, what has a 73% rating by Google users, but 5% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Christmas with the Kranks.
I was gonna say Justice League, but yeah, let's do that! Christmas with the Kranks came out in 2004. It was a Christmas movie directed by Joe Roth, better known for producing a ton of remakes in the form of live actions. If you know about these, it's probably Maleficent is the best, and then it gets worse with stuff like Alice in Wonderland, and then, well, that remake with Chris Hemsworth on the, what's it called? Snow White or the Huntsman. It was kind of, but you kind of see that you're not in for a good ride. Anyway, it's starring Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis as our leads as the Kranks, and then we also have a ton of interesting little cameos. We have one major role in the form of Dan Aykroyd, who plays the neighborhood type of watch guy who's just on top of everything. Oh man, his name escapes me, but I do remember when I saw Spike is actually played by the same character who does Dewey and Malcolm in the Middle, and I was just like, whoa, interesting. And
he's one of my favorite characters in the movie.
No, he's
so quirky.
He's cute, but I feel like they almost ripped him right out of like the show.
No, completely. They did. They did. It was bad. Really bad.
And then we have Cheech Marin, who is a cop in this, and the less he's in this, the better. But anyway, tell us a little bit about the plot, Ty. How does this go down?
Well, the plot kind of, the Kranks, you know, the family, they have this crazy idea to skip Christmas because their daughter goes away in the Peace Corps or something like that, and they just have this idea to just skip Christmas, go off to Hawaii or something, go on a cruise, and it's them against the neighborhood because the neighborhood is very upset of the idea of them skipping Christmas. And then by the end of the movie, the daughter comes back and visits for Christmas. So then at the end, they all have to gather a bunch of Christmas stuff and try to make a party happen. It's light and frothy, but it's okay. It's good. It's okay movie.
How do you feel about that 73% versus that 5%?
I think that's hilarious actually, because I feel like, I don't know, when you're in the mood for just a Christmas movie, everyone automatically goes to Google and wants to find, you know, that basic Christmas movie that everyone has to watch during the season. And then there are the real people that actually look at film and they go to, what is it, Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, there's that. Rotten Tomatoes is where you end up having a bunch of people who like to put in the input, or rather what should be the accurate representation. Sometimes the critics can be a little bit harsh, right, but they tend to have a good opinion.
A good idea of what should look at a film. Like how you should look at a film. And I feel like most people that are like, oh, it's Christmas time, they went on Google and found Christmas with the Kranks and they loved it.
Yeah, it could be because of that, but it could also be the, I feel that sometimes with Christmas movies, it's hard to really find a good Christmas movie only because it's all about family. It's all about making sure you put your friends first before anything else.
Right, and 'tis the season.
And probably why in this, I can see what they were going for. It's kind of like you have a family who at this point decides that they aren't going to participate in Christmas, daughter's away, and then they're jerks about it, and then it makes for some good shenanigans. But I don't know how I feel going back and watching this movie, how well it fits within that mold. I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to not necessarily be edgy, but at least kind of go against that capitalistic way that we look at Christmas. But then it does it badly. So they're jerks. Like if you had your main cast of Tim Allen, who's been the Santa Claus in the Disney movies before, so that's kind of funny how he's all anti-Santa now. And then Jamie Lee Curtis, who I guess we have to give her some time from stepping away from both Freaky Friday and Halloween remakes and stuff like that. But I mean, I think that's probably its big flaw, is that it doesn't really do anything with that argument. It's just trying to set up like some holiday war shenanigans.
Right. And some quirky, misleading injustice.
Yeah. Which I mean, Justice League. It's them versus us. It's Steppenwolf. He is the ultimate evil.
Exactly. Which in this case is Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. So Tim Allen, Steppenwolf. So the Justice League is made up of Dan Aykroyd, who is Superman, and he has to fight against him.
Has to.
But yeah, it's, I don't know. I saw this back when it did come out in theaters back in 2004. I was a kid. I saw it. I thought it was hilarious. Looking back though, there isn't really anything to it that feels like it's worth. I mean, it's good for having on when the holiday movies are rolling on either cable or if you need just something in the background. Like you could go worse. I don't think 5% isn't as bad as it is, but let alone even at 70% being a C movie, I think what we mean to say is probably it doesn't do anything. It doesn't add to the holiday experience anything that's genuinely unique. It just uses a lot of star power of the time to go along with it. I think my major complaint with the plot, I mean, for me, it's just, if you probably could have had a better idea to it instead of Tim Allen being a jerk to everybody, maybe that would have made a better commentary on how skipping out on Christmas for the sake of saving up for something else, if you felt that it wasn't going to support you in the long run, that could probably make sense. But I mean, to be a jerk to the police force, the Boy Scouts, and all that's...
To everyone. Not only that, but at the end of the movie, he was still a big old jerk, and they did all the party stuff anyway. It was for the daughter, but at the same time, was she really worth it? I don't know.
I think they built up that you wouldn't want to come back and see what had happened, but we didn't have enough time to build with all the characters to really enjoy this. I like how Jamie Lee Curtis, she has a lot of horror movie moments still. It seemed to freak out during those, or just
She's always like...
and then why is a giant snowman so freaking important to the whole damn community?
They're all over the place. When I watch the ending of the movie, they're for like 5 blocks, just like what are they? Snowman everywhere.
And they're all oh, sorry, I didn't.
No, go ahead.
It's just they're all CGI and alive, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Oh no, he's all like, "Hello, this is my top hat. I'm moving now," which is funny because the whole movie has nothing to do with magic at all, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, "Ah, it's a Christmas movie," just so you know, and there's Santa, which I was like, "Oh, that was random."
There's literally some random, like, run-of-the-mill Santa, and then happens to be actual Santa. And they try to make a big deal about this character who crashes the party. Nobody knows who he is. And I'm, like, watching this back and forth. I'm still equally, like, even confused up until they reveal it. But it's not anything interesting. I find it more hilarious when you have, like, the room, and there's that one guy who shows up, keeps talking to, like, Lisa's problems. And I'm like, who the heck is this guy?
Him? Why would she be like, oh, yeah, you know me and every single person alive. No one knows you, but you should totally come over to our Christmas party. You could be a psychopath that will kill everyone, but please come over and enjoy the party. I thought it was... No, that wouldn't happen in my house at all.
But it's okay because they needed to give Dewey a bigger role in the movie, so they ended up actually giving him a small arc with some thief that Cheech Marin, and once again, his scene in this is so forced. I mean, oh my gosh. They pick up a thief, he shows up to the party, it even gets more ridiculous, and I'm just like, none of this really goes together.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It was very sporadic and random.
Yeah.
Just like all over the place.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, oh, but we tied it down at the last minute, and... we're all happy now and it's Christmas, aha! And I feel like, no, I'm still confused.
That
didn't tell me Christmas at all.
That was lazy.
Yeah, that told me that creeps are running around all the time. That was nothing happy about that movie. I didn't like it.
It taught me, you be careful with the neighborhood. I feel, wait, no, they did this better on a, like, episode of The Twilight Zone. If you want to see people, like, rip each other's, like, necks off, just watch that Maple Street episode.
Right.
I mean, that's probably the best thing you could have done. It probably would have been better if you did something more along those lines. Or, no, because then you might as well just make that into a feature film. But what I mean is, you had a good premise. If you want to save on something for the week, save on something for a special occasion and you feel like you just have to cut back on a certain holiday, that's a great commentary right there. It's
Right.
not just for Christmas. It could also be Valentine's Day. It could be anything else that's shoehorned just for the sake of making money. I mean, I like Thanksgiving. I do feel that it is a very, very harsh thing that we put a bunch of workers through with the Black Friday shenanigans that goes out throughout the entire weekend now. I mean, you can...
And it starts on Thanksgiving. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just Black Friday anymore. It's like, starts at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And I'm like, I'm still eating dinner.
But who's the bad guy? It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm kidding. No, it's your friendly neighborhood Dan Aykroyd. He's absolutely lovable and psychotic in this movie. Holy freaking cow. Like, he feels warm and fuzzy until he starts getting really anal at the Kranks for not wanting to be a part of Christmas. And that's just so awkward. It goes back to you saying creeps. And then,
Yeah, it's just weird. Randomly weird.
and then the weirdest part has got to be when Jamie Lee Curtis has this scene where she goes in to get a tan because Tim Allen wants a tan for their cruise.
Right.
So they want
Right.
to pre-game the tan, and all of a sudden we have an awkward moment where Jamie Lee Curtis is in front of the entire mall and a reverend.
Her reverend. Not just a reverend, but her specific reverend. And she's like, oh, Father, hello. I'm naked. This is fine.
Oh, I'm just, wow, that was so forced, and why would you do this? I mean...
Not only that, but in the tanning scene, I can't get over this. Why on earth? There's a whole room that you're in, and you could probably just yell out the hallway for someone, but instead she goes to the very front, not even to the side of the counter and ask for an employee. She goes to the front of the counter, butt naked, and starts talking to the person. I need a Band-Aid, I need a Band-Aid. But she's right in the middle, right in front of a glass wall in a mall.
I thought she was in a bikini still, and
Oh,
she
well,
was,
she's in a
they
bikini.
actually had, like, it wasn't
It's
really a
practically
window.
naked.
It's just, I think it's just an opening where people can go in for that particular, like, you know, all the stores in a mall, they just have this one big door. So, I don't know, I do feel it's about as awkward as they have the pad time with just everybody staring. It feels really awkward. That's the best way to describe this movie. Though, if you want to watch a holiday movie kind of in the background, I mean, it's not the worst technically, and there's actually a bunch of different things that are running within a television stream where I feel like it's naturally bound to come on. I see the movie like every Christmas
I was
also.
about to say, it just reminds me of those really bad Hallmark films.
Oh god.
That's what this is to me. I'm sorry, Tim Allen. I love you. But that's what this feels like. But you still hear it in the background, and it's still a Christmas movie, and at the end you still feel like, oh, well, that was cute. But then really getting to the nitty gritty about it, it was kind of a weird movie.
Yep. So, overall, I don't know if it's C-worthy type of movie. I mean C grade if you put a 73% on Google. 5% though, it isn't the worst.
I say you should see it. Everyone should see it at least once. It's one of those Christmas movies that everyone sees.
Yeah, it's not.
So watch it once and then hate it after.
It's not as bad as Robot Chicken makes it out to be.
No.
It's not that bad, but quite frankly, if you are looking for something funny or comical, I'd say Home Alone 1 and 2. Don't go any further.
Exactly.
Just 1 and 2.
Just wanted to over and over again if you have to.
Yes, it's comedic flavoring of
It's
just
like a 72-hour.
just
Go
bricks in
about.
people's faces,
Right.
and it's awesome.
You know, people trip and then die and stuff on snow.
It's a kids movie.
Oh, I mean, did I say die? No.
But yeah, so anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'd like to thank Ty for joining me in. We just want to actually go over a lot of these movies that occurred during the holidays to see if we can see what is a genuinely good movie, and then was just a bunch of padded.
I personally still haven't found one. I'm still looking for a. What is it?
Gremlins.
Oh, I haven't. They're mad at me because I haven't seen Gremlins. Comment down below. Is it just me that hasn't seen it? I'm sorry. I haven't seen it.
Before this month is over, you better watch it because I'm going to talk about
I
it
have
with
to.
someone. I will talk about it with someone.
With someone.
So stay tuned, guys. Thanks again. Hope you have a good one. Once again, I know I'm being uberly thankful or such, but I can't stress enough how much I like to have guests on my
He's
show.
thankful for me.
Yeah, I'm very
It's me.
thankful. So yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you have a good one, and we will see you next time.